Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for some more sevens, and for the last time in what could be quite some time, we're here in New Zealand for the Hamilton Sevens FMG Stadium. In the back, it's looking a little bit dark and gloomy, so hopefully there's not too much rain on the horizon for this game, but I hope you guys are all doing well. Currently, the first match to get us underway, it will be South Africa taking on the Canadians, looking through at the Blitzboks starting lineup. They'll be as follows: Ryan Oosterhuizen, Impie Visa, Christy Grubler, Sylvan Davids, he's back in the side and definitely dangerous player to have. Shilton van Wyk, Delvin Blood moved into the starting lineup, and then Ricardo Duarte, the last man in that starting lineup. At South Africa just about to kick off for the Hamilton Sevens. And I've mentioned about the fact that they've got the two fields in play at the same time, which does mean there are overlaps throughout this competition, but we'll be keeping you informed of all of the matches taking place. It's a great tackle made by Christy Grubler. Currently, Canada in position. Their lineup: Burner, Thiel, Awaru, Wara, Webster, Urgas, and Isherwood. South Africa getting themselves the early penalty, trying to take the quick tap. Just a little bit of a handling error has caused them to have to take it again. Right, they're going for the scrum. 25 metres out from the Canadian line. This is somewhere where South Africa will definitely try and get their set play right early. Just see how they can build it up, because in their group they have got Spain, Argentina, and also the Canadians. As we can see here, their last game will be up against Argentina. I feel that will be the toughest game for the South Africans of the bunch. You want to build up momentum getting into those quarterfinals, where they will have to face off against either Fiji, Samoa, or France. The three tough sides going short side now. Shilton van Wyk back in his pace on the outside, and that will be the first try of the contest for the South Africans, and it is Shilton van Wyk, one of the quickest players around on the Seven circuit at the moment, and just a steam round the outside. As soon as he stepped, it was always going to be tough for Burner. Got beaten for pace. In fact, it was Brock Webster in the end. Wasn't able to catch him. Hi, says Amelia. Welcome in. Hope you are doing well. Fiji or France, Samoa, says Brandon. That's probably the toughest ball of the bunch. I'm going Fiji and Samoa just because Southern Hemisphere. So I feel like they've got a decent chance of being able to go through, but it will be tough. At the end of the day, the Hamilton Sevens, all you need is two good games and you're through to the quarterfinals. But great start to this match for South Africa, getting a 5-0 lead the early stages of the contest. And hey, Hamish, which type of rugby league is this? As well, says Sanatane. And then it's got a couple of emojis, but mine doesn't actually show the emojis. It's just got tongue out and face Fusia? Is that what that says? So I don't know if it's joking or not, but pretty much just 7-a-side. Best way of describing it. Very quick paced action. Going to be a line out for Canada at the moment, and bit of a cranky butt because my brother just woke me up, says Amelia. Oh, the perfect time for the Sevens to start, though. Surely there's a little bit of thankfulness in there as well. You get to see the full day of the action. It's going to be nicely taken by Canada just outside of their 22. Awaru goes back across. It's going to be tough for Burner to make any meters here up against the South African defence, who love rushing up, which does mean could be space behind you. Go for a kick. That's a big bump off of Sylvan Davids. Canada still just able to hang on to it. Looks like the man with the mower has done quite the pattern on the field. Nice inside ball from Awaru. Now the mullet man for the Canadians, 23, Thomas Isherwood. Is it back to Awaru, moves up to the 22 now. Looking for the offload from his bag. Does manage to find it for Isherwood. Bounce pass from the Canadians. One more on the outside. They will score their first try. The match for Burner, the man who runs it in. And that is a very well set up try by the Canadians. Took quite a bit of effort to get through that South African defence, but they just kept on going for it. He was whinging about the fact he couldn't find his devices, so he wakes me up, says Amelia there. And I am covering New Zealand versus Tonga and Fiji versus France. And also we have got the Hello Kiwi Lads. Hamish rocks the Sevens Rugby again, Blitzboks to win, says Roof. It is very hot here, says Nov Mum. Yeah, it's feeling a little bit almost muggy here at the moment, I'd say. Because are you at the ground, Nov Mum, or were you only going for one of the days? I remember we were talking about this a few months ago about you getting tickets, eating popcorn and drinking hot chocolate here at 10:14 p.m. says Roof. I should mention the camera does look a little bit weird. By the next live stream, that will be fixed. It's just that the wrong webcam loaded up. So I haven't had the chance to fix it yet. But currently only 2.5 minutes left of the first half. Both sides unsuccessful in their conversion attempts. That means we do sit 5 points to all. Webster kicks high. Sullivan Davids takes it nicely. Ryan Oosterhuizen holds him up in the air for a little while. Make sure that he doesn't get taken out because, of course, if Canada tried to get Sullivan Davids while he's floating in midair, would be a penalty and a yellow card. And Hamish Demand says, Nuzzy Williams, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing very well. Hope you're excited for these games at a decent hour here for us here in New Zealand. Like, we've done Cape Town. What other leagues have we done? We've done LA. We've done Toulouse. We've done all of the overseas ones that have been terrible time zones for ourselves. But we're doing one that's actually daylight here, which kind of feels weird. Ryan Oosterhuizen goes back across to Davids, who's 40 metres out from his own line, steps through the defence of Canada, and now he has to run 60 metres. But once he does, he will be able to pick up the second try of the match for the Blitzboks. Now just waiting for one of the Canadians to run over to him, use up a little bit more of the energy, and the try goes to Sullivan Davids. Are you doing game at 4 p.m? I couldn't tell you, Brandon. Mainly because at this stage, I know we've got 13 different matches that we've scheduled. So I'm not sure whether or not 4 p.m. is one that we've got on at the moment. Yes, at the game right now, lots of Fiji supporters, says Novmum. I think later on when Samoa are playing, that will kind of also ramp up a little bit. I see a little bit of blue in the crowd, but of course, Samoa defending champions. Fiji, they love playing in New Zealand. They'll be trying to get themselves back into the running at the moment. It's between South Africa and Samoa, both sitting on 47 points. The World Sevens Series conversion attempt successful from South Africa, 12 points to 5 now with less than a minute left. Next one in Australia, says Brandon. That is true. Next one's going to be Sydney, which will be taking place next week. I'm hoping that those games are going to be at a decent time on Saturday because I believe we're back into cricket and playing in a game. So not only am I hoping for a home game, but I'm also hoping that there aren't too many overlaps. And yeah, I was talking about Samoa versus Fiji, says Brandon. So yes, we are covering that matchup. Now going to be flicked back. Risky play from Burner. Just gives the ball to Shilton van Wyk, who's not on his team, wearing a different colour kit. And that is going to be the third try of the match for South Africa. That was a little bit too easy. The ball just passed up to him. Says, here you go. What happens here? Brock Webster, look for the offload. Unfortunately, he didn't realise that Jake Thiel was not where he offloaded the ball to, and instead it was the South African speedster waiting for that intercept. And Rugby Sevens in Australia starts at 11:10 a.m, says Brandon there. So yeah, at this stage, I believe the opening round on the second day, it should be the third match for both of the sides. So theoretically, it should be maybe just the group stage that we're missing. Don't know. It's gonna be an interesting one. I'm looking forward to cricket again, though. I've played way too much preseason cricket over the last 2 or 3 weeks. And also, we have got there. Nice to see you after a long time. Will you be regular now? Says Cody. I only take like 3 days off. This seems to be happening quite a bit lately. It's half time at the moment, by the way. 19 points to 5. I'll have like a couple weekdays off, and everyone's like, "You've gone missing." We almost decided to start the police report. It's just during the week. You know, we've been watching the BBL. I actually watched the Black Clash last night, rugby versus cricket. Good matchup. Went to the final over. And also we have got the oath mate, De Hours. Good to hear your positive vibes. Therapeutic, or however you spell it, says Nazi. No, that's a good effort. Therapeutic. It's closer than I would have got, I think. Oh, the spelling looks all right to me. Currently half time, 12 points down the Canadians. It's going to be tricky for them be able to bounce back here. When they were 5-5, there was always a chance, but being 2 down up against the South Africans just makes it a little bit more tricky. Looks like Canada, they will be kicking off this one. Hamilton, not exactly popping off yet, you'd say, but a few more people. I'm sure that there will be plenty coming into the stadium. You watch Bracewell Heroics, just missed out on famous victory for New Zealand. Yeah, it was a shame that the Kiwis weren't quite able to turn it into a win, although still a very valiant effort for them in that game. And that game was 2 final over. There's Brandon, now Brock Webster about to kick this one off. Goes just the 10 metres over the head of Duarte, who we haven't actually seen. Oh, no, Shilton van Wyk. The ball's just sticking to him at the moment, and that's going to be another try. That's going to be a hat-trick in the opening match And also, what is your feeling about Blitzboks to win this tournament? I think it's tricky, but they should win their quarterfinal, or though it will be up against either Samoa, Fiji, or France. So on paper, they'll probably come in as the favourite to win their semi-final as long as they're not facing Fiji. They'll have to make sure that they continue this momentum that they're getting in the group stage, though, into that next leg. That's the main thing. Go into the quarterfinals, beat probably their toughest test up until the final, unless they end up with New Zealand as their semi. But it's going to be a tricky road for South Africa, but in some ways, they prefer that than the easy approach. They want to make sure that they're beating all the best sides to then go on and win the competition rather than beating the slightly easier sides and then failing up against the more, I guess, decorated other teams. But that's going to make the score 24 points to 5 now. South Africa really liking to schedule up. I was watching BBL last night. It was a great match at the same time I was scheduled to today. There's Brandon that's going to be kicked out on the full from South Africa. Little mistake there from Selvin Davids. Oh, in fact, sorry, it was Ricardo James Duarte. Did end up messing that one up for the South Africans. As soon as I say I didn't see him, makes a mistake. Yeah, we will be switching to our other camera in a short moment. Did you have a nice rest break? Hamish says, Roof, it wasn't too bad overall because we did the match that was on at 2 a.m. on Monday morning, New Zealand time. Then Monday we ended up working and actually played twilight cricket that evening, which was quite a bit of fun, which on the rugby live stream tonight I'll probably get to talk about just because it's a relatively long story in that regard. Then Tuesday, I think I ended up going down to the cricket nets as well, just to get a little bit of practice in, did a bit of work. And then Thursday, we had cricket practice. Unfortunately, hurt my shoulder, so hopefully that comes right before too much later. That's going to be a forward, a little knock on. In fact, it is from Canada, unfortunately, and now there's going to be the subs rolling on. You really are so regular to make 4 videos per day. That's why we don't upload. It looks different, says Coding. Yeah, it just depends on, I guess, weekend-wise, we always have something running on the channel, whereas during the week, unless we're doing the BBL, there's not really too much else that's on during the week at the moment, which is quite good because it's been a busy period with work and also getting into cricket preseason, trying to get my fitness up so that if I do actually score some runs this season, I don't get too puffed and you guys don't have to listen to me puffing into the GoPro for the whole video. Ricardo James Duarte. Ball on the outside to Darren Adonis, recently coming onto the field. Now he's kicked it in behind. It's gone into touch, but Shilton Van Vick was certainly looking for that one. And Papua New Guinea is a new one play in this 7, says Brandon. Exactly right on the women's side of things. We are going to get to see Papua New Guinea. And then on the men's side, we actually get to see Tonga added into this comp, which is always nice to see the other sides. It's going to be a hit over the top. Sits up there for Sivive Suias Wapi. He didn't start this match, but instead came off the bench. Also alongside him, a couple other names that have been added onto the bench. Zane Davis still there, Sean Williams, Darren Adonis, and then there's actually Jaden Baron, who gets his opportunities. And now down the wing, Christy Rubala, another try. But South Africa, they're starting to make it look very easy at the moment. And also saw your video, a cricket match. Was that out? Interesting, it looked out, says Ruth. I've been called a bit of a trigger finger for my umpiring style in that matchup. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know whether I'm going to be umpiring the future ones or whether it is just a one-time thing because we didn't have an umpire available. I'll probably leave it to the more experienced members of the team because even though it makes good footage, of course, I don't want to give the wrong decisions. Let's go on to the left-hand side. Unsuccessful conversion, but 29 points to 5 now. And also, I've been nice. I will give my fan link to your channel, Hamish. Says Brandon, that is very nice of you, mate. 24 points difference. It's like Christy Grubler still going to be continuing in this match. He's been a silent workhorse of the South African side for quite some time. He either gets he tries and people are like, geez, he going all right. Or he just works away, gets those turnovers, makes those tackles, out sets up his teammates. So it's nice to see him getting to run in a try of his own here. It's going to be another penalty against South Africa in the breakdown. Now, that's something that they have been giving away quite a bit in recent legs of the Sevens. The risky thing is, yes, it doesn't cost you in a game up against Canada, but if you keep on doing it, then you start to almost build it as a habit. And up against those stronger sides, you don't want to accidentally give away an important penalty that could end up costing you the game. New Zealand was always dangerous, lurking around with like Hungry Lions. And my favourite to win, says Ruth. Although the last couple of years, or not last couple of years, sorry, last couple of leagues, New Zealand have looked a little bit lackluster. So maybe this home leg of the Sevens might be exactly what they need. Another loose ball from the Canadians, picked up by Savivai Wapi. Now going off to the left-hand side, Baron gets the chance, gives it off to Ricardo Duarte, who has put that ball down. Knock on from the South African number 29. Now, he had an absolutely tremendous few legs when we were up in the Northern Hemisphere. Southern Hemisphere hasn't started as well as he would have liked. But still, pretty successful scoreboard in favour of the South Africans at the moment. 29 points to 5. Bevinda is Jaden Baron's nickname, I've just said, and that stands for the wind. So you'd think he's pretty quick. Either that or it's an ironic one and he's the slowest player around, but I believe it's the first one. Now, Isherwood, the mulleted Canadian, the one who stuck with the mullet through the hard times. There's a lot of players, when they got to that mullet stage, they either chopped off half of it or they ended up getting rid of it completely, whereas he has gone full out. That's going to be a great run down the wing, and it's another try. This time, Sean Williams is the try scorer for the South Africans. Now makes it 34 points to 5. So this is certainly helping them out with their points differential. And it is that big match of the quarterfinal that they will be looking forward to. Again, it's Guy Sport this year to watch the Landers. Other games like Crusaders versus Chiefs. Says Max there, and big lead here, Blitzboks. I'll hold him back. I start doing shorts. Went to 1,000 views, so I am going to do more. Says Brandon, and big lead here, Blitzboks. Not holding back. And New Zealand will play against India on the 22nd knockout match in the Hockey World Cup. Says Coding. It's quite annoying because the only games that they're showing here in New Zealand of the Hockey World Cup are games that New Zealand are a part of. So you wonder whether or not, if New Zealand get knocked out early, do they just cut off all coverage, or do we still get like the semi-finals and the finals as a package deal type thing? It will be interesting. See how it sits. It's going to be kicked off high from James Duarte. Nicely taken by Isherwood. That was the full-time siren. Double blow of the whistle. Oh, Savivai Wapi for a tip tackle gets a yellow card. Just something that you can't afford to be doing. Definitely not in the bigger games. And come on the box, hope all as well, says Rugby. It's right back at you, mate. Hope you are doing well also. Currently, they're doing very nicely. Next game up against Spain in a few hours. And are doing last week's of the BBL, says Brandon. We will hopefully be able to fit in a few BBL games along the way. We've had quite a few renovations going on at the house, so it's been a busy time from about 7 p.m. onwards when Dad's got home from work, which is actually why I'm in a different setup. You guys can't see it, but I'm actually in a different room of the house at the moment. Now, nice work. Our wide for the Canadians, looking like they're going to hang on to this ball for just a little bit longer. Savivai Wapi going to be off the field for the next 1 minute or so, although by the time that minute is up, the game should be over. Well stolen in the breakdown, I thought, from Darren Adonis, but just got his hands down. 26 did not roll. What about those Aussies, Hamish? Do they have a hope to challenge? They're in a decent pull. That's going to be slapped down, and it's a knock-on into the game this time. But yeah, they've got a decent pull, so it's definitely going to be that quarter-final match. That's going to be very important. Will you cover today ODI or T20 for India Black Cap Series? We might consider the T20 ODI-wise with the amount of live streams we've got tomorrow. It would be quite silly to do about a 9-hour live stream. But yeah, we'll see how we go. We might be able to squeeze in one of the T20s or something along those lines. Borderland is set for 24 rather than 35. Getting Spark Sport from 23rd of February. But nonetheless, we will be popping over to our next live stream. I thank you all very much for tuning in. I will see you all in a very short moment for the next match. It is just around the corner.